Hey guys, it's Alyssa. I swear I come onto this YouTube channel every single time I post a video and I'm like, I promise guys, I'm gonna be more consistent with posting videos. And do I do that? Sometimes, but I will admit it's been a pretty busy season, just a lot going on. Had a recent trip, which was really fun, to Amish country for my sister's 30th birthday celebration. And I actually did get to go to an antique mall in Amish country, which was fun, and I got some items, so I'm going to show you those in this video. But yeah, I apologize that it has been a few weeks since I posted. The fall collection is fully out, the fall themed drop that came out the first Tuesday of August. So right now I'm just focused on getting everything I have in my vintage inventory up on Etsy, and then I don't really have much of a plan as far as a themed drop for the month of September, but I'm thinking I'll probably lean into the fall theme once again for September, since everybody's just kind of, we're ready for fall. We're getting really excited and anticipating it. At least I know I am. So I am excited to continue sharing more fall stuff and everything. So that's kind of what I'm going to be on the lookout for when I get ready for my September drop, which will be the first Tuesday of September. But really, I'm posting new stuff on Etsy all the time. All the items I'm going to show you in today's video are currently available on Etsy. Okay, so speaking of that trip to Amish country, I did get to go to an antique mall. Only picked up 2 things, but I think they were really decent finds. So I actually found this set of ruby red anchor hawking glasses. And these are like really cute miniature glasses. I love the little design here on the bottom. Really small, great condition. And I got them for $2. Yes, they were at an antique mall and they were on sale. They were listed for $4, but this particular area of the antique mall, everything was 50% off. So I was really happy to get these for $2. Like, you can't even find stuff like this at the thrift store for $2. So I was really excited about that. So this set is available on my Etsy currently. All right, next up was the other thing that I got at this antique mall, and it's just this brass paperweight apple. Very big, heavy, obviously, and in really good condition. It's got some nice patina here on the top, but other than that, it's like pretty shiny still, and again, really heavy and good condition and well made. So I was like, this is a good find. Anytime I can get my hands on brass that's like not super expensive, I would like to jump on that. For whatever reason, I've just been struggling to find a lot of decent brass for a good resellable price this year. So anytime I see it, I immediately jump to get it. I'm sure many of you, if you resell vintage items, you know what I'm talking about. Brass just does well. Okay, so this next thing is really, really cool. I've never really seen anything like this, but it's a little set, and it's this little box, and if it'll focus, it's got these little poodles on it. And if you see, these move, and the reason these move is because when you open up the box, inside is a necklace, which also has that poodle pendant. And then the lid is actually a pen or like a brooch. And then these little spinny parts, they come out because they're earrings. So it's a full set. I had never seen anything like this before, but when I looked it up, there were a couple like this, but none with the poodles, only with other animals. So I thought this was a really, really cool find. My aunt actually picked this up for me at a yard sale, I believe. And she was just like, that's so cool, I had to get it for you. And I was like, thank you so much. I think I've shared here before, but my mom and my aunt are like professional yard salers. And unfortunately, with my job, I'm not really able to get out to yard sales very often. And so during the summertime, they go yard sailing almost every single Friday. And they get really cool finds because Fridays, if you know, those are the days to go to the yard sales, because if you get out early, all the good stuff is still there. And yeah, they have a lot of fun doing that. Another thing that they got me was this adorable little glass bowl, and it's just colored glass. I've said this many times on this channel, colored glass is a weakness of mine. I love the green glass as well. I just think this light green glass is so beautiful and definitely very in right now. Anything colored glass does really well on my Etsy, especially the light greens and the pinks. So like the pastel colors, people really do like those. Okay, for the last two items, this is something I'm really excited about because I'm testing the waters on some new products on my Etsy. Now, I have kind of mentioned before how I wanted to get into more vintage clothing, but I didn't realize how big of an undertaking it is to actually get into vintage clothing, because you have to look at a whole different section of a thrift store to really sparse through and find the vintage clothing. So that's going to be like few and far between as far as when I'm actually going to be able to add a lot of new, not new, but a lot of vintage clothing items. It's just not my strong suit. I would love to be able to dedicate more time to that, but like I said, it's a whole different area of a thrift store if I'm finding them at thrift stores, which that's mainly the place you would find vintage clothing that you want to resell. And then also it's time consuming because you have to look through a lot of clothes, a lot of racks to find the good stuff. And I already spend a lot of time on the home decor and kitchenware shelves and aisles because you have to sparse through that stuff too. And like I said, I do this as a side hustle. This is like a hobby for me. So I don't do this full time. So I really don't have the time to go through all of the racks of clothing. So yeah, that's kind of been something I've realized. You know, I said last December when I was thinking of some fun things to do for this year for my Etsy shop, and I really wanted to focus more on the clothing side. I was, you know, just shooting for the stars, if you will, wishful thinking that I thought I could really focus on that this year. Maybe in the future, we'll see. But something that I am dipping my toes in the water with are books. I actually have 2 books listed on my Etsy right now. These are both vintage illustrated children's books from the 1970s. This one is Little Peter Cottontail, which is a wonder book, and I believe it's from 1974. And then this one is Dooley and the Snort Snoot by Jack Kent, and it is, I believe, from 1972 in really good condition. And actually, when I looked up the comps for this, it sells for a decent amount. This one, not as much, but it's still really cool. The illustrations are still really gorgeous. So I was like, I got them for free. So I was like, I might as well just go ahead and list it. Something like this is super lightweight, not hard to ship. And yeah, so I'm testing the waters on that with vintage children's books. I may get into more just generic books and not just children's books, but I really liked the idea of starting with illustrated children's books because it's cool to have like the vintage ones. The illustrations are so different than what we see now in children's books. And so I think for those that love vintage and maybe have kids that are young or planning to have kids, this could be a cool thing to add to your home. All right, guys, so that is this video of just showing you some items that I've added to my Etsy shop recently. Like I said, the full August fall drop is on. There's some really cute pieces available on my Etsy shop. The link for my shop is always in the description, so if you want to check out any of these items or any of the fall stuff or anything else, make sure and click on that link and you can see all of it there. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so because I'm planning to be more consistent with posting videos. I have some fun videos planned ahead, so make sure and follow along with my small business and Etsy journey. Thank you so much for watching though, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.